Hello, welcome back. Today's topic is about Nüba, the goddess of drought. Nüba, also commonly known as Hanba, is a complex and fascinating figure in Chinese mythology, embodying the dual nature of a revered deity and a feared monster. Her story is one of tragic descent from a heavenly goddess to a vilified bringer of drought. Here is a detailed elaboration on her origins, myths, and evolution. At her most fundamental level, Nüba is the personification of drought and extreme heat in Chinese folklore and mythology. Her very name, Haba, breaks down to Han drought, dry, Ba, a spirit or demon of drought. Nüba's earliest appearance is not as a monster, but a divine daughter of the Yellow Emperor Huangdi. The most famous myth involving her comes from the epic battle between the Yellow Emperor and his rival, the warlord Qiyu. Qiyu was a powerful foe who summoned a thick, impenetrable fog to cover the Yellow Emperor's army, leaving them disoriented and vulnerable. To counter this, the Yellow Emperor called upon the help of the drought goddess Nüba. She descended from heaven and used her innate power of intense heat to dispel the fog and evaporate the moisture, allowing the Yellow Emperor's forces to see and ultimately achieve victory. However, using her power was so draining that she was unable to return to heaven. Exhausted and stranded on Earth, her inherent nature began to affect the mortal world uncontrollably. Wherever she went, she brought severe drought, withering crops, and causing widespread suffering. This is the core of her tragedy. The heroine who saved the day became an outcast because of the very power that made her useful. Unable to return to heaven and blamed for the droughts plaguing the land, she was driven from human settlements. She became a wandering, cursed figure. Over time, her depiction shifted from a celestial goddess to a monstrous being. The classical texts, like Classic of Divine Wonders, described her as a small humanoid, barely 3 feet tall, with eyes on the top of her head, a common trait for strange beings in Chinese myth. And wherever she walked, rain would cease, and the land would immediately dry up. She was no longer seen as a savior, but as the root cause of all drought-related disasters. People would perform rituals to drive her away to end droughts. The character Ba itself became a byword for drought-causing entities. Its meaning expanded beyond the specific goddess. By the Qing dynasty, 1644 to 1912, the concept of Hanba had merged with vampire-like Jiangxi folklore. It was believed that a corpse buried in a specific way could transform into a dry Jiangxi Hanba. Example, in a geologically hot spot, or one that had not decayed. This creature was blamed for preventing rain. Therefore, a common practice to end a drought was to dig up suspicious, undecayed corpses and destroy them by burning, beheading, or drowning in a ritualistic attempt to destroy the Hanba and bring rain. Nüba, or Hanba's story, is rich with symbolic meaning. She represents a power that is both necessary and destructive. On the surface, it's the story of a monster, but beneath that is a much more nuanced tale. Her abilities were crucial for winning a cosmic war, but catastrophic for daily human life. This reflects a deep understanding of nature's duality. The sun gives life, but can also take it away through drought. Her narrative is a classic tale of the hero turned scapegoat. She was used for her power and then discarded and blamed when that same power became inconvenient. This mirrors how societies often treat those who are different or whose traits are deemed disruptive. Nüba represents ancient attempts at understanding meteorology. Before modern science, myths like Nüba's provided an explanation for natural disasters. Drought wasn't a random weather pattern. It had a name, a form, and a reason, which made it a phenomenon that could potentially be understood and ritually addressed. In conclusion, Nüba or Hanba is a tragic figure whose story evolved over millennia from a key celestial agent in a foundational Chinese myth to a folkloric monster. She is a reflection of humanity's relationship with the natural world and the many faces of nature, the benevolent and the terrifying, the life-giving and the destructive. And that's all for this video. Thank you for watching.